in the original Ezechiel, no word of Mediterranean Sea is there, and nothing. There's no high mountain, no Mediterranean Sea. So it's all just translated partly wrong so that the people may understand it easier. But the story is not true. Now, what really happened? I show you a computer animation, how we think what really happened 3,000 years ago. That's why we brought you here, that you make these measurements. Why should Ezekiel measure a building on a high mountain? What? The extraterrestrial says, well, that's the reason why we brought you here. Why? Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, all this took place at least 3,000 years ago. Our forefathers were Stone Age people. No idea of technology, or spaceship, things, nothing at all. So, a group of extraterrestrials is observing a group of humans. They came down, they realized which of the humans is the leader of the group. Ezekiel was the leader. For by profession, he was high priest. They capture him. They bring him up to the high mountain, to their base camp, so to say. And they order him to measure the base camp. Then they bring him back to his own people. Now all his people, the others, hey, Ezekiel, where have you been? What did they brought you? And Ezekiel enthusiastically says, they brought me on a very, very high mountain. Why? What do you have to do there? I had to measure a building. Here are the measuring dates. It's all written down. Because Ezekiel and his society believe that this was not a vision, this was the real Almighty God. And Ezekiel at the same time, he is high priest. His words and his measurements are not just thrown away. All this is important. There was a human which had a contact with God. So these measuring devices and his experience, what he was writing, is not just for the trash. It's for the future generation. It enters into the holy writings. What it did in practice. The extraterrestrials knew exactly, thousands of years in the future, that human society will have technology by their own. They will develop helicopters and ships and flying machines and so on. And thousands of years in the future, they will read the text of Ezekiel. And they will say, all true, we are deep believers in God, but God does not need technology, and this was technology. This was technology. What happened? So the people in the future start to ask questions because of the writing of Ezekiel. And not only the writing of Ezekiel, we have other writings around the world, like in India, the Mahabharata, and these things. Now the people in the future, we, our generation, we start to ask us, what happened? Some people may suggest, did we have maybe an earlier high society, technological society, which vanished? Or other people come up with the stupid question, well, were these maybe extraterrestrials? Visitors from outer space? And then when we say, okay, maybe visitors from outer space, but where is the proof? We need conclusive proof. And now the future generation starts to look for a possible proof. You always have to have first the question. Without question, you will not go out to make researches. First, you need the question, so that the generations of the future start to look for proof of extraterrestrial. They put it in the holy books, and it worked. Because of Ezekiel and other writings, we know what happened at that time.